Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to work on a simple bar necklace and earrings to match using some of our remaining beads from the SoftFlex design kit, A Tree of Life, which was put out for the Great Bead Extravaganza. Now there was some 18 gauge wire in that craft wire, and we're going to use that for our bar. And then we'll just add some chain to it to finish it off. Very simple, very easy, and really cute. So let's turn down and we'll get started. Okay, here's the little baggie of beads that we're going to use. And let's pour that out. And I'll show you what we're going to do. We've got just one of these beads left, so we're going to make it be our center bead. Then we'll have the larger spacers on either side along with a smaller one. Then we're going to put one of the tubes, spacer, one of the green beads, spacer, tube, spacer, green bead. Now we could go on a little bit further, but I'm thinking we might be just fine with just this amount. Let's find out, shall we? And if we need some more, I do have these few here. So what we need is a length of wire. Now I don't want this to be really long because it's a bar necklace and it shouldn't be long. You don't want a bar necklace to be tremendously long unless you're using large beads for it, and obviously we are not. So we'll get our clippers out and clip our wire, and I think this side had a notch, yes, so we'll cut that off too. And this wire is a little bit, well, it's a little bit bent, and we don't want it any more bent than we have to, because we found out when we made our last necklace that those tubes do not like any bends in the wire. So we will just string this up, and instead of doing this loop on the other side, I'm going to just be careful and not let it slide off the other side if I can help it, because we do want to make sure of our sizing here, our length. Boy, I'm having the butterfingers today. Now see, as I said, this tube hits if it hits one of the bends, it doesn't want to go any further, and I just bent it some more, so we're going to have to straighten that some. I want this is probably about how much we need for the end piece, maybe a little less, so we'll just green one's going to come off the end if I'm not careful over here. Come on, come back, there we go. Well, I never would have thought this one would have been the difficult one, but it seems to be, it's going to be. There we go. Come on, more over to the center there, because you are the center one. Oops, not that one yet. Big one. Now there is our bar so far. We can make it a little bit longer because I do have enough beads to make it come out just a bit more. And I think we are going to do that. Though, as I say, you do not need to have a long bar. A small one is very nice. So I think there's just enough room to wrap both ends, and I'm not going to wrap it as in do a wrapped loop. I'm just going to do a simple loop on both sides. Oops, lost my... Come here, spacer. So there is our bar. Very nice, very simple. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to get out my bell making pliers. We're going to use these, and we'll use the smaller of the sides. And we'll just wrap it up. Now I suspect I'm going to have more wire than I need, and as you can see, I do, because this is quite a bit more here. But what we're going to do here is we're now going to turn this down like it was an eye pin. Now we'll slide these things over here to this side. And since I'm not exactly sure how much I need, I'm gonna cut a little bit off to start with, and then we'll see how much more I need to cut. I know I need to cut at least this much. So let's wrap it. And I need to take off quite a bit more. As you can see, I have this much. So I'm going to just cut it right here in the middle of our loop, back in here, and wrap it the rest of the way. Now we'll take our pliers and we'll tip it down. So now it resembles more of an eye pin. It's a little crooked, so we straighten her up. Now, because I do have a wee bit of space here, what I can do is I can take this and I can do a little bend in it, just so will conform more to your neck. So see, like so. Now if you had the ends were entirely tight, the beads would object to doing that little bend. So there we go. Now the next thing we want to do for the necklace is we want to take and get our chain out and decide how long we want this to be. I'm thinking I want to put 8.5 inches on each side, since this is probably a good 3 or 4. And even though it doesn't go down to the bottom as a regular necklace would, it's 3 3/4. It does constitute part of the necklace, because when it sits on around your neck, that portion will be sitting on your chest. So I think we want about 8 inches, which would be 16 if you were going to put it all as one, but we just want 8, so we're going to cut 2 8-inch pieces. There's 8. put this aside for when we need some more for the earrings. So, next step is to decide how to hook the bar onto your chain. You can do this a couple of different ways. You can open your link up and just stick it right inside there. You can put a jump ring on. I think all I'm going to do is I'm going to open my link here, or the last of my bar here, slide the chain on, and then carefully close it, making sure that I have it closed all the way. So we'll do the same on the other side. Slide it on and close her up. Now there are our chains in place. Now the last thing to do to finish this necklace is to get out a couple of, you know what? I might just make this, instead of a lobster claw, I might get out one of my magnetic clasps to finish this baby up. So I've got my magnetic clasps, and these may be tiny, but they are mighty. So let's get one of them out. Come on, you. And then we will put these on with these jump rings. Now these are really strong, so I always tell my customers if they have gotten one of these necklaces with the magnetic clasp with these little guys, they may be tiny, but they're extremely strong, and you need to slide them a bit sideways when you open them. I'll show you in a moment. Okay, you stop being a pain. Get back there. Now this jump ring has popped up a little bit, and we don't want that. So I'm going to get into it and push it. Well, if the thing will let me, push it down so that it's even with its buddy. There we go. Now we go for the other one. Another thing, these magnetic clasps will gather up their chain, so you gotta remember that when you're dealing with them. So here we go. Like I said, slide it sideways to pull it off. So there's our little necklace all done. And now we'll go to our earrings. So we'll slide that up this way so it's not in the way so much. And we'll dump our earring parts out. Now for the earrings, I am going to... Oh, that's not what I want. There it is. Take one of the tubes. Come on, tube. There we go. And we're going to make a little dangle with the tube for in the middle of our earring. And then we're probably going to even put a little chain with it. We'll hang it on a little chain, I should say. So There's the middle dangles. Here's our ear wires. And our bar is going to be 1, 2, 3. There we go. And of course some of the... What we're going to do is we're going to take and make a little bar with the earrings like so on it. And it'll be just like this, except for it's just this little section here. So we're going to get another little piece of wire out. Actually, we could get 2 pieces because we got to do 2. So we're just going to straighten this bar out. Now we can have the same size of loops if we want, or we can go for a slightly smaller one. Did I use the small one on here? I guess I did. If we wanted smaller, then we have to go to our stepped, and then we'll just go around like we did on the other. Get our pliers and make it into an eye pin by bending that just a hair's breadth. Now we're going to put our beads on, which would be green, spacer, tube. Come on, go down there. Flatten those and see if I can get that little bit of curve out of there so this tube will go down easier. Obviously I did not get it out because it doesn't want to move. Let's see if we did it this time. There we go. Now another spacer, green one, spacer, tube, spacer, green one. Now I had enough spacers here. I could have put a spacer on either side, but since we had the loop, I didn't think it was necessary. Now I'm going to cut this about right here, and hopefully I will have left myself enough for the other earring. Oops, knocked that one off. The little edge off here. Now my step goes this way. Looks like I cut just the right amount there. Nope, this is what I want. Oops, I got them a little crooked to each other. See, they're not the right, going the right way. So if they're doing that, take your pliers decide which way you want them to go and just give them a twist till they're where you want them at. Then we'll give this a little bow, just a little one, because it's a little tighter than the other one was, and besides there's not that many more beads. And we will get this one has got to go here, and then we're going to have chain that will go here and here. So we have to decide how long we want this to be. Thinking about here. So I'm going to just cut that off. And since I've decided on that length, we need 4 more of these. So we'll put this in my awl, and we will cut . Okay, now that we've got this chain cut, let's get all this crud out of the way here. We're going to take 2 for each earring. So we'll put 2 to the side over here. And then we're going to do the same as we did over here and open our loops up, put our chain on. So So now we have these 2 chains, and it's going to go up like this and then connect to our ear wire up at the top. But also what we're going to do is we're going to put this little guy in the center. So we have to decide if he needs a little bit of chain or if he just needs, you know, just I am going to give him 3 links chain and see what happens from there. And we'll do 3 on for the other one as well while we're at it. And then we'll put the chain aside because we don't need it or not going to need it anymore. But what we will need is at least one jump ring. Hopefully that will take care of everything. So we'll put 2 of them. Ugh. Boy, that's a lot more than 2 rows. Oh, I still have 3 out. That's all right. We'll just put 1 aside for right now. So what we're going to do now is we're going to wrap this up. We're going to put it on the end of this chain as we're wrapping it, and then we'll put this one earring together. So I'm going to use my round nose for this one because it is a little bend. Up and over and around. Bring her down and over. And then I'll get my pliers to wrap it. And I just made a boo-boo because I forgot to put it in the chain. That's all right. We'll just use a tinky top then to add it to the chain. That way if it becomes too long, we can just take chain off. Let's see, here's my tinky tots, so we'll drop out 2 of those. So open this little guy up. Hook him to the chain. Now the nice thing about this dangle is you don't have to worry about if it's going the proper direction because it's just pretty generically the way it should be. So now we just have to hook all this together. So we take our jump ring and open it up. Grab 1 chain. Then the little one that the dangle's on. The other chain. And then we'll put our ear wire on as well and close it up. And there we go. There is our first earring. Now we put the second together just the way we just did this first one. So it's not going to be difficult to do. We'll just take our bell making plier and do one end. Come on, come out. Make it into an eye pin. Green. That green isn't being cooperative. Okay, I think that's a little longer than we need, so I'm going to trim just a little bit of it off before we make our loop. Now we'll make our loop, and if it's still too long, then we will take some more off. And it's definitely too long. You can see I almost have enough to make a full loop here. So we're going to take our tweeze cutters and put them right here. Cut most of that loop off. And it's about perfectly there. So now we will get our pliers and do a... So now that we have both loops in and they're about the same, we want to put that slight bend that we have in the other one. Let's see if we're close. Maybe I can get this to bend just a wee bit more. There. And then I think we'll a wee bit more this one. Okay. So now we need to put the chains on and wrap up the little dangle so we can put it in the middle. This one's sliding out of place. So there's our one we're matching up to. Let's make sure we didn't get any twists in that in the last step. Looking good. So there are our earrings, and there is our necklace. So there we go. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we have been using some of the last of my beads from SoftFlex Company's Design Challenge Kit for the Great Bead Extravaganza Tree of Life. So here's the little bar necklace we made. Just put it on. So it's a really nice little length there. And then we had the earrings. This one's twisted a little bit. Let's get her untwisted. There we go. There are the earrings. About this length. So there we go. Aren't those pretty? So again, these were made from the SoftFlex Company's Design Challenge Kit from TGBE, Tree of Life. And this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.